Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's do a single geode reverse dye. I'm starting off with the Buffalo brand hoodie, which is 70% viscose, 16% cotton, 11% polyester, and 3% elastane. I also have the hoodie turned inside out. So I'm calling this one a single geode, but it's not necessarily a geode. It doesn't have a center. It looks like a geode because I'm going to do the lines and I'm going to vary the distance between the lines. So I'm going to grab one of the corners of the hoodie, lift it up off of the table, kind of give the hoodie a little bit of a shake, and just start tying from that corner. So the lines are going to go diagonally across the hoodie, and I'm going to vary, like I said, the distance between the lines. I think that the diagonal lines are actually pretty flattering to wear. I gave you the breakdown or the fabric content of these Buffalo hoodies, but if you haven't tried any of these are super soft. You can get them at Costco and they're considered to be a woman's hoodie. If you don't have a Costco membership or a Costco close to you, you can purchase them from Costco online. The last time I checked, they had some available. They come in several different colors too. I've tried the black ones, which I've reverse dyed with. Then I, of course, have used the white ones many times. And I even tried, they have kind of a taupey color. And I did one of those too. For the color removal process or the discharging process, I'm going to use a product called OWB Brite Laundry Whitener. I find mine at Walmart in the laundry aisle, and even though it's not a bleach product, they normally put it next to the bleach products in my store. If you can't find any at your local store or grocery store, I have a link down below where you can purchase some from Amazon. I also like to do this process outside because the OWB Brite does have a smell, and so I don't want that inside. And I also wear my respirator for this whole process because I don't want to accidentally inhale any of the powder or the fumes from the OWB Brite. I've placed all the items that I'm going to reverse dye down inside of a plastic tub or tote, and I'm sprinkling the dry OWB Brite powder over the top. And I use a lot of powder. You probably don't have to use this much powder, but I want to make sure I get it done right the first time, so I usually use quite a bit of powder. I've also learned through trial and error that since I have a lot of items in this container, I'm going to add more than one pan of boiling hot water. I'm slowly adding the water so that it doesn't splash up on me, and also, if you notice when I start to add the water, the OWB Brite starts to foam. So I want to try to keep all of that inside of the container. The first pan of boiling hot water didn't totally cover all of the items that I have in this container. That's why I'm adding a second pan. I want to make sure everything is almost totally submerged. It might not be completely under the water, but I want it to be pretty close. I also haven't sped this part of the video up because I want you to see how quickly the OWB Brite really does work to remove the color from the items. Okay, I have my second pan of boiling hot water, which I'm going to pour down over the top. And then I actually went ahead and added a little bit more of the OWB Brite powder. Remember, I have the hoodies turned inside out, so it's the polyester that's on the outside of the hoodie, and I kept looking at that one that was sitting on top and thinking that it wasn't actually getting discharged very well. But it really is. It's a little bit deceiving because the polyester won't discharge with the OWB Brite, but the cotton and viscose will. So I had one of the hoodies that wasn't totally tied the same way as this one was, where I could see the inside of the hoodie, and I gave a peek inside that area and realized that, oh wow, the black really was coming out. You just can't tell it because the polyester on the outside makes it look like it isn't working. I also kind of messed with the shirts. I flipped them over, I moved them around. I want to make sure everything gets totally submerged and all the color gets removed that I'm wanting to from all these hoodies. I think everything I have in here is hoodies. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and speed the video up at this point, but I basically left the hoodies in here for probably about 25 to 30 minutes. You don't necessarily need to leave them that long. Once the color's been removed to your liking, you can go ahead and take them out at any time. I just had stuff in my washing machine, so I went ahead and left them in here until the cycle ended. Then I took them to my utility sink, emptied out the liquid, and went ahead and rinsed them really well in cold water. Then I put them into my washing machine and washed them using some Dharma's textile detergent. By the way, I left them tied this whole entire time. You can wash them either using a warm or hot cycle. It doesn't really matter. I washed them to get out any of the OWB Brite residue and part of the smell. After they were finished in the washing machine, I left them tied and put them into my soda ash solution and allowed them to soak for 20 to 30 minutes. Then I wrung them out of my Panda spin dryer and set them aside to allow them to dry out completely. You know I like to dye really thick folds like this when they're completely dry. And if you want more information about that, I have a link to my website down below in the description for this video, and I have a blog post about that out on my website. I'm going to rack dye this hoodie, so I've placed it on a rack, and I've kind of wound it in on itself so that it's going to be a little bit easier to get to fit on here. Because the hoodie is so thick, I'm not going to use my silicone cake molds to make myself an ice barrier. Instead, I'm using some plastic cutting boards which I've cut into strips, and then I'm attaching them together with binder clips and wooden clothespins. I'm going to wrap them around the hoodie and then hold them together with another clothespin. I thought that some fall or autumn type colors would look really pretty on this hoodie with the black lines. So I've listed the colors down below because I'm going to use quite a few, but I'm also going to go ahead and give them to you so you know what I'm using. From Dharma, I'm going to use Marigold, Citrus Got Real, and the Citrus Got Real is one of the muck colors that they offered back in spring of 2022. Then I'm using Orange Sorbet, Amber Waves, Oxblood Red, and Pagoda Red, which are also Dharma colors. From Pro Chemical and Dye, I'm going to use Pumpkin Spice, Curry, Adobe, Barn Red, Golden Pineapple, and Golden Delicious. Then I'm going to use Old Gold from Dye Spin. Now I'm going to add some additional soda ash over the top of the dye, then add on some ice. Over the top of the ice, I'm going to add some of Pro Chemicals Golden Delicious. I thought this color might just add a little bit more depth. After this first layer of ice melted, I went ahead and added a second layer of ice. I didn't add any more dye over the top though. The fold is pretty thick and I just want to make sure I have plenty of ice to force some of that undissolved dye down through the hoodie. After the second layer of ice melted, I left the hoodie alone and let it process for about 24 more hours. Then I took it to my utility sink and I started rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. After the hoodie was untied, I went ahead and ran some really hot water in either my utility sink or in a plastic container, put a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent into the water and allowed the hoodie to soak. I changed out the water when it cooled off and I continued that soaking process until the water was almost clear. Then I put the hoodie along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine and washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so the hoodie's now been washed and dried, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you think? It's always a surprise whenever I unwrap these hoodies because I've left it tied throughout the whole entire process. So I really don't even have any clue what it's going to look like underneath the sinew lines. I don't know whether a part of the inside of the hoodie hasn't been discharged, whether I've got big black blobs, but I'm really happy with this one. I think it turned out great. And I do really like these colors mixed with the black lines. I think the black lines just really make them stand out and pop. What do you guys think? Drop me some comments down below and let me know. I think this would be a great hoodie for autumn, fall, pretty much any time. These are not my colors. I don't look great wearing orange and yellow, but I think it's a pretty hoodie. And these buffalo hoodies are so soft, they're really nice to wear. So if you guys have enjoyed watching me make this video and enjoy the content on my YouTube channel, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.